also a great opportunity to employ people from the village of Hempstead. And I think this is something we really need definitely here. And the other thing that I can understand with these projects, when it comes down to the village of Hempstead, we have a lot of outsiders. There's not even a homeowner in the village of Hempstead that have so much to say how Hempstead should be operated, how projects should be continued. I think that the people from the village of Hempstead who pay taxes like myself feel that I pay too much taxes, and for something like this here to be stopped from people from the outside to come to try to dictate what should happen in the village of Hempstead, I think you guys should overlook those people and focus on more than the people in the village of Hempstead who are suffering because nothing has been going on for the last 20 years or 30 years that I've been here. I've been here longer than that, but nothing really been going on, and it's not right for this to continue on where I can go to Garden City, Mineola, Hicksfield, Huntington, different places, and I see all these projects going on, but still nothing is happening in the village of Hempstead because, again, we have people on the outside dictating what should happen. I think you guys should overlook the people that's standing up here talking down in the project that's not even a homeowner or a resident of the village of Hempstead. I think that you should take notice of the people who's standing up here, like myself, who's a homeowner, who's looking forward to something like this to happen in the village of Hempstead to make a big difference. So that's my opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
If someone else would like to get up and testify, please just make sure you're signed in and state your name and whatever you'd like to say. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, we. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. You won't have the problem of not hearing me because I talk loud. My name is Curtis Lowry. I own Amazing Contracting, Inc., and I support Reverend Benjamin, Derek, and the gentlemen that are trying to build this project. Been a substance abuse counselor at Nassau County Jail for about 15 years. It's pertinent that we look at what's going on, man. Hempstead suffers from a lot of stuff. You know, you have people who won't even drive through Hempstead because of the appearance of it, you know. So I think it's a wonderful thing that the gentlemen are coming here to try to make Hempstead look like the neighbor, Garden City, you know. I've worked on mostly every project that has validity to do with the upbringing of Hempstead in Hempstead because of Reverend Benjamin. You know, it'll give a lot of people a job. You know, they worry about crime. Well, people are gonna steal if they don't have no money. So we can help prevent some of that by building these buildings, making Hempstead look like a place that you wanna go through. You know, giving someone some place to sleep. You know, fortunate enough for me, I know some people who sleep in cardboard boxes, you know, who want a place to live. These guys are coming here to build something that's affordable so somebody can have a place to sleep. You know, I urge you guys to pay attention to the importance, but it's just like politics, man. You're gonna have people that like it, and you're gonna have people that don't like it. It's up to us to agree what's good, what's not good, and I hope you do the right thing and just let this project go forward, man, because my guys are blowing my phone up about, Curtis, when are we going to work? You know, so it's all about, you know, trying to help the next person, and this will help more people than it will hurt people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Would anyone else like to testify? Please just state your name and where you're from, and then you can say whatever you'd like.
Good morning. My name is Terrell Huddleston. I'm the Executive Director of Black Jobs Matter through the umbrella of Avid Leadership Center. Just turned 34 the other day. I say that to say that I am the youth and I am the future, and I work with the next generation. So I'm like in between. I'm basically the bridge in between the generation before mine and the generation after mine. And most of the young people was leaving Hempstead because nothing is happening. I came from the Bronx. I was born and raised in the Bronx, and since I go back there, everything looks different. Hempstead looks exactly the same since I first came here. Nothing changes. And every time they try to do anything, people come with the naysaying, oh, let's not do this, let's not do that, but nothing's changing. And the youth is not staying, so the money is not staying in Hempstead. It's going. People going down south, people moving out of Hempstead. When are we going to make Hempstead an attractive place? When are we going to do, start letting building going on and start letting jobs happen? And I've seen jobs happen from development, but I don't see it continue. I see it stopping. I see people say, oh, let's not do this. The 4 years pass, nothing happens. Like, what do you have as an alternative if you're going to be against something that's going to bring development and that's going to do jobs? And I've seen it happen. I've been on the front line mentoring guys, getting them guys jobs, and seeing guys change their lives through jobs and taking it further. I mean, you can give a person a job, they got to do their best to take it further and make it a career. For people that say, it's a one-day job, or I've heard stuff like, oh, they get jobs for a couple months and stuff like that, and it's not true. Some people will do if they don't do good, but if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to go further. Anybody's going to take you if they see you as an asset and not a liability. That's how life works. So all I'm saying is I'm for development. I'm also against people coming from outside of Hempstead and telling Hempstead what Hempstead needs. Hempstead needs to tell Hempstead what Hempstead needs, not outside residents, not people that don't have a stake here, not people that don't want to see change. Doing the same thing and not getting any results is insanity. We need to change it. We need to continue to grow. There's going to be some growing pains, but that's what comes with that. Let's build. That's what I got to say today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to testify?
My name is Aubrey Muhammad, A-U-B-R-E-Y-M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D. Peace in the name of Allah. I'm Aubrey Muhammad. This Carman place is part of a greater misdevelopment that is gentrification of Hempstead. It seeks another policy. Hempstead has 31 policies for apartment buildings. It's draining this community of over $20 million a year of vital resources over the decades, the last 2 decades. Hempstead have been devitalized by the same forces that you say are coming to revitalize it. It's a gimmick. These are temporary construction jobs, like they did you at Metro 303. Once the building is built, the opportunity is gone. You enjoying that green space? Somebody answer. You enjoying the pool there, the pool hall, the apartments there? The green space is built up to the sidewalk. It's urbanization. They've been urbanizing Hempstead since the 80s. Now, when Governor Hochul expanded that urbanization to Caucasian suburbia, the other areas they speak about, that look so pleasant, they rejected this urbanization. But you'll promote it here because they know it's detrimental. They have those 31 tax policies. They want 35 more. You think you're paying high property taxes now? Thousands have been displaced from Hempstead. Hundreds have lost their homes. These are temporary jobs that will not give you the salary to pay a mortgage. You as a Hempstead homeowner, you want to be a landlord with your $300,000, $400,000 house. Split it in half to make it 2 living spaces so you could be a landlord and rent 1. You immediately get a $10,000 increase in property taxes. It's rigged to keep us impoverished and losing our homes. But these same developers get a loan from the bank. Dan Deacon, get a loan from the bank. Conifer, get a loan from the bank like everybody else. You'll displace it. Where they struggle to get refinanced from losing their house and their small business. All this urbanization is rejected. And I think the plea for these temporary jobs are no good. Then hospitals deal with Hempstead. How do we benefit from hospital? Any of you work in hospital? Any of you work at XRR. A Russian oligarch is financing the gentrification of Hempstead. The irony. It's hypocrisy. It's racist. It's classist. And it must stop. This IDA board should be banished. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard?
My name is Terry Winston, I'm a resident of the village of Hempstead. I'm also a homeowner of 27 years. Some of these pilots have matured 3 times over, but with the exorbitant amount of extensions given to these recipients, the village of Hempstead has yet to reap the so-called benefits of these pilots. I doubt they ever will. The recipients of these pilots are nothing more than scammers, and they do not live in the village of Hempstead. But the neighborhoods that they come from don't have pilots.
That's right.
The neighborhoods that they come from have money to ward off the wretched scammers, and they also have the political support, which Hempstead egregiously lacks. The so-called representation on this board from the village of Hempstead, their sole purpose is to pacify the residents of Hempstead into the belief that they have the interests of the village residents when it is abundantly clear that they don't.
That's right.
They are stooges and politically appointed by the mayor to agree to every pilot application in Hempstead.
Talk about it,
I demand their removal, as I demand that these pilots in Hempstead cease, because neither have the true interests of the residents of Hempstead at heart.
That's right.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard?
Good morning. My name is Catherine Gary. I'm a resident of Rockville Center, as many of you may know. I am here as a person who lived in Hempstead for 10 years at 600 Fulton and experienced the same kind of discrimination that the people in Hempstead experience every day. I did research. I didn't come in making up things. I did the research. I read the documents. Those of you who want jobs, I don't think you have read the documents and understand exactly what this plan is. This is a plan to put you all out of this community. It's all documented. This is another public hearing today for another pilot, for another huge urban apartment building right here in the village of Hempstead. The IDA passed pilot number 31 a couple of weeks ago, in spite of a number of Hempstead community leaders speaking right here quite strongly in opposition to the project. That building was for 96 units, and this one is for an additional 228 units, which is to be divided into 2 buildings with a proposed street put in between the 2 urban complexes. The project proposes to have retail stores on the 1st floor. The buildings are to be 5 stories on Bedell and Main Streets, and they are to have very limited parking for the size of this urban complex, which will be built without a setback, with no outdoor public green space. And it will probably look like that huge, ugly complex up there at 303 Main Street.
That's right.
It is for the wealthy. They call it affordable. It's not affordable to the people of Hempstead. People up to $116,000 will be housed in that, and you know they're going to choose the people at the high end.
That's right.
This project is called Carman Place. Many will recall that this Carman Place project was renounced by a large number of Hempstead residents in September of 2018, when the developers requested a pilot from the village board. The community came out en masse to the hearing, and the village board rejected it. So now, it's 3.5 years later, and the same developers are now hounding the RDA board for the very same pilot. 30 years. There are 4 Hempstead reps on the RDA board who will be called upon to vote for it against the project. The 4 are former trustee Lamont Johnson, current trustee Joylette Williams, zoning board members Dan Oppenheimer and Sharina Gonzalez Lucas, none of whom are here to hear this hearing. I note that this project is to be built on parking lot number 8, which was given away for free in 2015 by the village officials, by your officials at that time, one of which was then trustee, but now mayor, Waylon Hobbs. Renaissance owns that property, which he got for free. But if this pilot goes through, he will be selling the free parking lot for many millions of dollars to the developers. He's the one making the profit, not you. In addition, a series of retail stores will be shut down, current stores will be shut down, the people will lose their jobs, and the premises will be demolished. I note that when the appraisal was done in 2015, it was appraised on a single apartment building standing alone for 104 units with no retail, with podium parking, and no surrounding buildings were to be demolished. What is proposed here today is an entirely different building from the one appraised. One must wonder if there is and was any fraudulent complicity involved here in changing the plan after the land was given away for free based on a different project. This plan is the 3rd such urban complex seeking a pilot in the last year. And there are at least 30 other huge pilots and projects waiting in the wings for these urban pilots. Is this just and fair? And is this what the people of Hempstead want? It is impossible for us to know what the people want because of all the secrecy, lies, and deceit that have been told to the people over all these years and even today by the public officials. But anyone with common sense and with a sense of justice for all would know that without a doubt that this project should be renounced and defeated because it represents not only an unfair taking of land, it is an integral part of a massive takeover, a usurpation, and an intended transformation of Hempstead into an urban area via 35 other projects and 35 other pilots that the village residents will unjustly be forced to subsidize through their increasingly very high taxes. I call upon you to reject this blatant hate crime. It is a hate crime, an act of injustice against the people of Hempstead. May you all renounce this crime and act with common sense and a commitment to justice for all in Hempstead. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard? Otherwise, I'm going to close out the hearing.
Very well said.
We are observing it is 10:04 a.m. Tuesday, March 8th. We are now closing out the hearing for the Carman Apartments LLC residential portion. Sine die. Thank you.